We are Time Traveler Tours and Tales, as Julie said. Our current project is to bring history to life through story and games at the tips of your fingers. It's a new form of storytelling that combines the traditional power of narrative with the magic of touch.
I actually saw Sarah's first app at Duster Magic a couple years ago and started talking to her about how that was a real interesting use of storytelling and kind of taking history into a way that young people can get it on a device and really start playing with history in an interesting way. And so it seems like this is the beginning of the development of a whole bunch of tools that would actually really use historical books, documents, artifacts, things that actually will take history and make it come alive in a physical sense for kids.
If you are a young parent, the term that you hear over and over is screen time. How much screen time are you allowing your children? How much screen time should you allow your children? And what I have noticed, there was a very great deal of fear when the electronic apps were coming out, when all these ebooks were coming out, this fear that we would completely do away with the printed book in some form. And I think this is fear that is completely unjustified. The book is not superfluous. It is the starting point. It is where you begin. It is where you get them interested. And then you can use things that, like the things that Time Traveler Tours comes up with, and expand it to a certain extent. Very, very interesting. So what I am hoping for in the future is that we have these options for kids, these electronic options that build on the very interesting printed matter that we have, and that libraries and teachers and parents will have some way of taking advantage of it and will know about it.
I look at this as kind of a first step in the development of a much bigger empire for Sarah. The idea that kids will be making things out of history and telling each other new stories about history in different ways. And I think that's kind of important. So many kids say, oh, this is boring, or I don't like reading books. Well, that's not really true. They just need to understand history in the way that's important to them.
Dryden is our editorial consultant for TTT&T. Emma, we have been working so hard on this project for so long, and as Dan said, it is wonderful to finally be in an event with other people. And I want to ask you the same thing. Like, how does this feel? Is it a little surreal tonight?
It's exciting. It is surreal. I think it's very exciting to be working on a project that involves such a wonderful team. This is really a group effort, a team effort, and that makes it different and fresh. And now with Kickstarter campaign going live, we're kind of asking everyone to join in this team to create something that I think is going to be very special, and special for kids, special for readers, and it's very exciting.
It's great to be here tonight, and listening to Betsy talk about things like screen time and things that are very dangerous for children. We got to buck up and not so much worry about screen time, because that's where young people are getting information. Plato actually lived at a time where people thought writing was a dangerous technology. And, we're still using pencils. We still listen to the radio. We're watching television. It's just another tool. And I'd like to add that T to the TTT&T group, tool, because tools help people talk. And talking builds community. And that's what we try to do with education, is to try to get people to talk to each other through stories, through things that people create. And that's what we're trying to do with the library. And what fascinated me about Sarah's work was the idea of creating new tools for young people to get excited about history, not just through a screen, but they're outside, they're in a physical environment, they're walking around experiencing history, making it personal. And you know what? They do look up from the screen. Screen time becomes conversation. That's how young people connect. So to see new tools being developed and to see new ways of connecting history, which is so important for people to learn, not just young people, but all people, to get them to understand how to take those stories, make them their own, and learn and come up with new ideas, something very important. So I look at this as just the first step in the TTT&T group of creating not just travel and tours, but really tools and new adventures for young people to explore and develop. And I just want to say congratulations. And thanks for having me. It's fun.